Okay, now I'm going to talk about MotoGP. And as you can see, I'm wearing my Valentino Rossi, the Doctor, 46 shirt. Um, Rossi definitely was one of my favorite rider, or probably my favorite rider, um, for a long time, or consistently. I like who doesn't like Valentino? You know what I mean? But the thing is, you've got the upcoming MotoGP, and let's talk about that for a second. So Mark Marquez, it was a bit shit what happened to him. Hey, like it was bad timing. He just won the world championship, and he's meant to just maybe still challenge for the final races, but get out there and people celebrate his championship. But yeah, unfortunately, he had to watch from the sidelines and not really get involved. So maybe it was a little bit anticlimactic for him. But like wow, but it sort of paints a lesson there that it's up and down. Like his his path is up and down, and it's probably like that for everybody in their own path and endeavors. You know what I mean? Um, and that shows that if something is meaningful enough to you, um, this you'll continue on despite those ups and downs. Because it's not gonna just be like that all the time. Or yeah, so he had that injury, and then it took him a while to get back, and he finally got back, and he dominated on the Ducati, and then yeah, and then he gets injured again. So it's kind of like you look at that and go, "Whoa, that's a lot of ups and downs." But he he achieved what he wanted to. He got that world title again. But so it'll be interesting to see what happens. I wonder how Pecco will go this season as well, uh, because he didn't. It didn't look like he was himself on that Ducati. Yeah, sometimes that's the thing. Like maybe the factory bike, like that's the development bike. You know what I mean? Who knows if it's going to go your way? Like they're always striving to be faster, and maybe the changes they're making are not going to be integrated with your riding. You know what I mean? Your riding style. Yeah, I'm just a spectator, but you know what I mean? Like they could have probably kept the 24 bike on and still probably won the world championship. Who knows? But they can't just keep the same bike forever because the competition will catch up and overtake their best bike. It's like imagine if Honda in 2011, when Casey won that championship, imagine if they just kept that bike till now. It'd be like 3 seconds behind the pace, but it won at the time. It was a it was a top of the category bike. You know what I mean? The Honda, but just because it was the top before doesn't mean that the other bikes won't develop their thing and get in front. So I guess that's the thing that the manufacturer, even though Ducati's on top, that's how to stay on top is to keep developing, and maybe Pecco's not liking the developments. Who knows? Or yeah, or it could be a weird dynamic for him with Marquez in there. I don't know. Who knows? But I guess that's the thing if you want to be in the factory team. Otherwise, yeah, that's interesting. But then in other teams, they don't always run the older model bike. So if that previous year's bike was good, like I don't know, it's confusing, isn't it? Yeah, but it's entertaining to watch. I think what it does is even though I would like Pecco to still be winning, the cool thing is it makes it interesting for other riders to have an opportunity. What if like Pecco was winning heaps? It wouldn't have created that awesome story for Mark to win the championship. Excuse me, or for other riders to be highlighted as much, like Alex Marquez and Marco Bezzecchi and guys like that. So just because a rider um, isn't winning or on top anymore, that's that's probably gonna let you down if you're a fan of them, and it's like, it's disappointing. But look, it gives opportunities to other riders. When maybe 2 or 3 riders that were on top the previous year are probably behind, then there's probably going to be 2 or 3 riders who are now having a better year than they did before, and you'll see them come to the front, and you'll be like, oh, I like these guys now too, you know? Yeah, so that's cool. It's nice to see like Pedro Acosta, Bezecchi, and yeah, but like because I'm an Aussie and all that stuff, I'm keen to see what Jack Miller can do. His teammate Toprak Razgatlioglu, the Turkish rider. Um, like fuck, he's a fantastic rider in superbikes. So I wonder how that will translate to MotoGP. Because, for example, like I've watched some old races with Troy Bayliss when he moved across from superbikes to MotoGP, and like that was insane. Like the 2003, how was Ducati able to be at the front? You know what I mean? In their first season, that was insane. Like, of course, their bike probably was a little bit out of touch in some areas, but in some races they were like at the front with Bayliss was at the front with Rossi, and I think Caparossi won one of those races. You know, that's insane, isn't it? Um, so yes, the superbike riders are world class. Like if they're a champion, and especially if they're dominating. So like, yeah, I know for example, some riders can dominate, but then maybe not have the best years later. So who knows? Yeah, but it'd be cool to see what Toprak can do. It's interesting, and you've got that Moto2 rider. What's his name? Diego Moreira. Um, wow, it's pretty cool. So I wonder if I'll get down to Phillip Island again this year because it probably might be the last year, and I've been down. I've been down a couple of times recently. So in 2023 and 2024, yeah, and that was pretty cool. Like it's a good experience. Um, yeah, I love it. Yeah, fuck yeah. All right, have a good one. It was nice to talk about MotoGP with you guys. See ya.